Hello and welcome to Simon Says Artwork. In this video I'm going to be doing a drawing in my little black book. This is my sketchbook that I have several drawings in that have already featured on the channel, and like this one for example, where I didn't use any outlines to draw a face out of hatching. And I'm going to be doing another drawing in this sketchbook. This is going to be a quick ink first character portrait that I'm going to draw. It's going to be from a strange angle, and that's the point, is to try and show how to draw the face from a weird skewed perspective. So okay, let's get started. Well, when it comes to doing drawings in such a small sketchbook, I try to make sure that every mark that I make is considered at least looking twice to make sure that I've got the angles right and that I'm placing the drawing on the page in the position which I want to keep it. Now, I started off with this brow to nose ratio because of the foreshortened eye in the distance there, which is really obscured. And then from that I try to measure the relation between that and the other eye. I really like how all of these features sit together and what they already do for the character of the face. And drawing the lips here as well is something where it is just a combination of different angles and shapes, and it all comes together as if by magic after you've followed what you've seen. Now, it's very striking blue eyes, so what I try to do is to ensure that I'm not adding any tone to the actual iris, and trying to ensure that I keep to this low angle, this vantage point which the viewer has, where you can see beneath the chin, you're looking up at the lower part of the nose and the eyes, and trying to enforce that throughout the drawing. Bits of hatching here and there. They were slightly heavier than I think they needed to be, but it was a bit of a learning process really for using this pen. It's not to blame the pen, it's my application of how it makes marks, and it's a very, very nice pen for varied marks, and I went a little bit too heavy on some of the hatching lines, but I still like the result afterwards, so I'm not trying to detract from that. Drawing the ear is again another combination of different shapes and forms that it's quite interesting to see what you're going to have after you follow all of these different little cuts and angles. And when I'm making up ears, I find it quite easy to say, right, I'm going to put it like this and shape it there, and it's quite a comfortable thing to draw. But then when you're following what other people's ears do, it can be fascinating sometimes to see the difference between your memory of where the different features of an ear go to what the reality can be, especially from this type of a skewed angle. Now, the shirt did have some kind of a strange pattern on it, but I thought if I just represent that with little dash marks, I think it's better than to really spend an inordinate amount of time trying to render that. Now, with the hair being quite messy and fluffy and curly in different places, I find it quite a nice and enjoyable thing to draw, so I did quite like throwing the marks around quite loosely for that, and then just spending a lot of time trying to look at where the darker parts of the hair occurred so that I could try to render something close to what the reference was showing me. And it's not spot on. I wish I could show you the reference, but because I don't have the rights to a lot of the materials, I'm just going to show you what I drew, and that way at least when you're looking at a photo reference you can see to follow just where the reference is showing the darker areas and trying to preserve these lighter parts in between. That way you can have this effect of different directions on the in the hair, in the different, because it's really, hair is just a series of clumps of shapes. It's not as though you're drawing strands of hair, you're drawing different clumps of hair and then where the shadow collects within that. But yeah, I think the face has a lot of character here, and I'm now just trying to add little bits of detail into different places where I think this needs some tonality. So I thought if I use some stippling instead of more hatching, it could indicate lighter shade. And I quite liked it. It's something which I don't do very often, so this was the first drawing in quite a long time where stippling and hatching have been used together. And I think I might do that again more on some more drawings in the future. It's a good way of varying from what you have with hatching, which can be this darker mid-tone between the lines where you are creating a grey from a distance, and with stippling it's so much softer to try and create this very, very light mid-tone, but to show some form and some tonality. Just like here on the nose, how I created a shadow shape by continuing with the stippling across. But I didn't want it to be too heavy and really do too much work. So trying to use it as a transition there as well on the back part of the neck, and I think it's all quite nice and effective. Okay, so that's the drawing done. Now, this is what it looks like. I think it's quite interesting. I'm going to do more like this. It's not the obvious angle that you would draw something from. That's kind of the point, is it's kind of a weird over the shoulder angle, but I quite like it. I like the look on the face because I like the eyebrows being quite serious and concentrated. And I'm going to do some more of these types of drawings to try and improve upon my rendering and my observations based on drawing faces. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, then please leave a like, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, ring that notification bell, and I will see you